that, man. Aaron Rodgers will have a chance to get his team to 2-0 for the first time since the 2015 season, but it won't be easy against a stacked Vikings defense. Last season, he was sacked 8 times between their 2 meetings. So, Stephen A., which unit has the advantage, Packers offense or Vikings defense?
I'm going to say the Vikings defense, and the only reason I'm going to say the Vikings defense is because I think that they've got some things to their advantage. Number one, Aaron Rodgers and Coach LaFleur. They haven't figured things out yet, judging by their performance against the Chicago Bears in week 1. It was suspect. There is no doubt about that. I think they have to be better. I mean, it wasn't, I'm sorry, not against, it was Chicago in week 1. You know, Mitchell Trubisky and their offense ineptitude is what saved Green Bay. That particular day, Green Bay's defense looked extraordinary. That's not something we expected, even though we expect them to be better than they have in years past. With Minnesota, nobody believes in Kirk Cousins. He's a $28 million man who will be lucky to get you to the playoffs. Most times, you know, he'll look good in the regular season, but not good enough to get you to the playoffs or get a win once he arrives in the playoffs the one time that he got there. When you look at the rest of the crew, Anthony Harris, Anthony Barr, Daniel Hunter, Linval Joseph, and these boys, that defense is real. Coach Zimmerman, I mean, the man coaches defense. He knows what he's doing. And I think if this were later in the season, Green Bay would have an advantage. But because it's early, I would give the advantage to Minnesota right now.
Look, Mike Zimmer has a head coaching job largely because people believe maybe he had defensive schemes that could slow up Aaron Rodgers. But LaFleur, as you said, Stephen A., seems to have done a pretty good job of that himself, or maybe it's Aaron Rodgers' fault, right? I think the Packers are not going to have a repeat performance of that offense. Just hard for me to imagine Aaron Rodgers coming off a 10-point performance is going to struggle to that extent. To me, the more interesting question is the Packers' defense, which you mentioned was really, really good week 1, versus the Vikings' offense, which looks like it can be a dynamic offense. That's the key, because what did Aaron Rodgers say after that win against Chicago, which does not, although last year the offense was more dynamic than given credit for. He said, we have a defense. If you finally give Aaron Rodgers a defense, what does that mean? So I need to see if that Packers defense is real, and that's the matchup I'm looking for, Packers defense versus Vikings offense.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, guys, we got to get to break, all right? So we're just going to take a quick break, and we have more to come on First Take. Stay with us. Monday, we'll have full reaction to Sunday's NFL action. Will Stephen A. be praising or hating on America's team? How will the AB situation play out with the defending champs? And will the Rams or Saints take the early lead in the race for the NFC? All that and more Monday, right here on First Take. The Steelers are looking to come back from last Sunday night's rout in New England when they host the Seahawks this Sunday. Pittsburgh has not started a season 0-2 since 2013, the only time that's happened since the team drafted Big Ben in 2004. Stephen A., what's the key to the Steelers avoiding an 0-2 start?
How about Big Ben showing up and reminding the world that he's a future Hall of Famer, he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion who's been to 3 Super Bowls, and taking some pride and stop going on the field against future Hall of Famers acting like they are in such an elevated class above you. My God. You know, I always bring this kind of stuff up. I mean, if you're a winner, all right, then you want to make sure that you always remind folks that that's exactly what the hell you are, especially when you're going up against somebody who might be at an elevated level than you. You want to show that you belong in the same class. No Antonio Brown, no Le'Veon Bell. Both of them talked about you when they walked out the door. What you going to do about that? That's what I want to see.
I would say in an era without Belichick and Brady, we'd be looking at Tomlin and Roethlisberger and Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson like they're among the best quarterback-coach combination, which is how you win Super Bowls throughout the history of the league, particularly in the last several decades. But I wouldn't even say it comes down to that for this game. I think really what I'm looking for is that Pittsburgh pass rush, because Stephen A., I bring this up all the time. The Seattle Seahawks for so long put virtually no resources into their offensive line. And they traded Max Unger, who just retired, for Jimmy Graham, and their success as an elite team kind of fell apart with that. You can correlate it to the defense, but I'll look at the offensive line. And recently they've been pumping more resources into it, and we heard a lot in the preseason, this is a new deal, and da-da-da, and Russell Wilson was running for his life again. So I think the key to the game for Pittsburgh is actually their pass rush. If they can get it going, they get their win.
Okay.
All right. Well, Max, the reason that you're in Vegas right now, you'll be hosting from Las Vegas the Tyson Fury fight against Alain. Who is the best heavyweight in the world?
Tyson Fury. I thought, look, he beat Vladimir Klitschko, and Klitschko hadn't lost in like 10 years. It was a stinking fight. I wasn't overly impressed. But then Klitschko showed he had a lot left against Anthony Joshua. Climbed off the deck, and Joshua climbed off the deck before Klitschko finally lost. And then Tyson Fury balloons out of shape, and it looks like he's gone. He comes back, he wins a couple of mediocre fights, and then he fights Deontay Wilder basically off the layoff and rises from a 12th round knockdown. I thought he iced that decision when he got up. He was so far up on the card. Stephen A., I already saw him fight Deontay when he wasn't really active and thought he won. Now he's active. If he keeps winning, like he beats Feline, he's still my number one.
Well, yeah. I don't even know who the hell he's fighting, and I don't want anybody to come at me for that. I don't know whether the guy's ranked 5th or 50th for crying out loud. But I will tell you this: I'm gonna go with Deontay Wilder, and I'll tell you why I'll go with Deontay Wilder. Because when I'm thinking about heavyweights, I want knockout artists. Okay, I understand that Tyson Fury can move and box and jab and all that. He's a superior boxer. But when you talk about the best heavyweights, I'm talking about a guy that had over 40, 41 fights, 42 fights. And every one of them, with the exception of one, has been a KO. This brother is a finisher, Deontay Wilder. I'm going to go with him, who, by the way, almost put Tyson Fury to sleep. I'm shocked he woke up.
Deontay is one of the best punchers ever. Greatest heavyweight of all time, Muhammad Ali, was not a big puncher.
All right, Max, hold it down out there. Do your thing in Vegas, hosting that fight, and we'll hold it down for you here. Thanks for watching First Take. Coast to Coast, coming up next.
Did he just mention Tyson Fury and Ali in the same sentence?
Hey, welcome into Coast to Coast. David and Carrie with you. We got news this morning from Adam.